Supreme Court justices are allowing the Trump administration to strip legal protections from 350,000 Venezuelans, potentially exposing them to deportation. The court's order puts on hold a ruling from a federal judge in San Francisco that kept in place temporary protective status for those Venezuelans that would have otherwise expired last month. The justices provided no rationale, which is common in emergency appeals. The status allows people already in the U.S. to live and work legally because their native countries are deemed unsafe for return due to natural disasters or other civil strife.
We're joined now by Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes to break this down. Khalif, a little bit of a shock to some people because the reason why they were given this status is because of what's going on in Venezuela. Conditions in Venezuela haven't improved that much. Were you shocked by the Supreme Court's decision?
Haven't improved that much is probably an understatement. I mean, most experts are saying that they have gotten worse. But if folks were watching at our 8 o'clock hour when we discussed this, and now do discuss this probably for a number of weeks with the Trump administration, any type of action that he's taken through executive order has been challenged almost 150 times. And all of these things are still playing out in court. What we're talking about here is should it have been stayed and should an injunction have been put in place? The lower court puts an injunction in place. This court, the Trump administration, immediately appeals to the emergency relief from the Supreme Court. Remember, this injunction is extraordinary relief. There has to be something that's pressing, and they have to hit those 4 points that I always talk about: irreparable harm, likelihood of success on the merits, balancing of the equities, and the public interest and public policy. And so the court, that lower court, made that analysis. They determined that it should meet that extraordinary burden. I'm going to go ahead and give an injunction. This court saying, well, hold up, not so fast. You guys have not met that burden. And everyone except for one, Justice Jackson, agreed that that should be lifted. That stay, that pausing of the Trump's order should be lifted. That doesn't mean the underlying issue has been addressed. So now what has to happen? They got to go right back to the same judge that gave the temporary injunction, the one that said, I thought it would be likelihood of success on the merits. And they'll have to go in front of that same judge to get some type of recourse. This was just a way around his stay being put in place, not addressing the underlying issues, just saying that should extraordinary relief been added, should there have been an injunction? The Supreme Court said no, we'll go back to the court and allow them to continue to do this process and then go forward with, can the Trump administration actually legally do this? The only issue that I will say there is irreparable harm you would think would be there, because if I send someone back to their country, money can't fix that. You're not going to be able to pay the money for going back. You got to be able to figure out a way to get them back. So I think that's why the lower court ruled that way, and the Supreme Court didn't give a rationale as to why they ruled. They just said that they're going to lift the stay.
Well, so while all this plays out in the courts, there are still people involved in this who are looking at this and saying, what does this mean for me? So with this latest ruling, what do they need to know?
Well, those 350,000 Venezuelans that had opportunity to live in this country, to get a job, to be here and to be protected because they were here seeking refuge from a country that is in total disarray, those folks will now have to go back. And so if you listen to what the arguments for the petitioners were, the folks that brought the claim on their behalf, they said, look, you're asking these folks to make a determination. Do I live here and sneak and try to stay in this country illegally, or do I go back to a country where I ultimately will die? That's going to be the issue that they're going to have to deal with. And most of these concerns, specifically when we're talking about immigration, we're talking about humanitarian type of things. These are the questions when we're talking about being the leader of the free world. It's a double-edged sword. It has great opportunity, but also great responsibility. So when folks come to your borders and they're asking for refuge, not, trying to run and try to seek a job, but running because they could potentially die, typically countries welcome those types of people through programs like this.
Khalif, why isn't it when there's something that's challenged like this, why isn't a pause just put on it to begin with? Say, well, let this be figured out.
Well, to put a pause on it, you got to meet the standard for irreparable harm. And if you can't meet that and those other 3 points, then that standard won't be met, because typically they want the process to play out in court. They don't want the judge, they don't want folks to be able to say, okay, I can stop this and then determine if it's constitutional. We need you to be able to allow that process to work itself out.